Right, we go back again to the, we continue on the clear comprehension. um, let's, what did I talk about clear comprehension? Oh yes, I talk about the the four types of clear comprehension. The clear comprehension on purpose or what is beneficial to you. And then the second one, what is suitability? Third one, what is the domain? And the fourth one is non-delusion. Now the first one about this clear comprehension. No, sorry. The nature of this clear comprehension is wisdom. This is the one is that penetrates the nature of the object and begin to scrutinize and see the intrinsic characteristics of those objects. So exercising this wisdom is going through this clear comprehension, this four clear comprehension. And as I said, that clear comprehension, there must be correct or right. They have to have what else did I say? I should share the screen now. Hey. Hey. Wait, hold on. Back to meeting. Hold on. Hey, how come all disappear? This one close. Wait, hold on now. Let me share screen again now. Okay. Can you see? Cannot. Nothing. Sometimes these are funny. Hold on. Let's share again. Can you see? Hey, not this one. I don't want. This one afterwards, I show it to you. This one I close first. Not this one. I don't want to share this one. But I have to open up that one in order to. Oh, okay. I know why. Okay. Now let me share again. Can you see Sampajanya? All right. Okay, good. Now, here again, the Sampajanya here means seeing or knowing or discerning rightly, entirely, and evenly. Explain a little that on those things. So, in order for this Sampajanya to exercise it, to develop them, to cultivate them, then we go through the four parts here. So the four parts here is that we have to have clear understanding on the purpose, the things that we are doing, our what is the benefit for that purpose that we are doing. We talk about the everyday life. We talk about also in the meditation sense. Everyday life, for example, is that okay, you having a good health. Why do you exercise then? Then exercise is for the purpose of so that we have a healthy body, we can able to develop further in the Noble Eightfold Path. Rather than just having a healthy body and you want to enjoy everyday life. So we have a more higher purpose, a more clearer purpose, a more noble purpose. And then in the meditation part, during the meditation part, then when it comes into the purpose, then we notice its intention. We see how intention are happening as we are doing something, or when we are walking, or when we are sitting, or when we are moving the hands, then we can able to see those intention or those purpose, and they become very clear. So this is how some of the things that you can able to develop. in the Sampajanya as regard to purpose. Now, in regard to suitability, now when you able to have your your clear purpose, then you have to do what is right for you, what is right for you, and what is beneficial in the sense that at that point it is suitable for you in order for you to able to cultivate the wisdom. So suitability here again, it can fall into everyday life, and also it falls into when it come into the practice. In everyday life, then we see that what is suitable for us. Then we have to notice that what sort of exercise is suitable for us in order not to injure ourselves, in order that we have a certain degree of good health going through that particular exercise, then it is helpful for our mental development, or very supportive for our mental development. So that is suitability. But when it comes into meditation, there are a number of things what is suitable to you. For example, when you sit down, then you feel that you want to get up, or you intend that you want to get up. But the thing is that maybe you just only sat there for half an hour. So after that you say, okay, not enough yet. So let's continue for another half an hour or one more hour. Then you sit there to meditate. So you override the intention. So perhaps that time is not suitable for you to get up yet. So something like that. So here, whether it's suitability or not, it helps you to become more attuned to your desire or your laziness or your anger. Because here, the suitability here, it's not something like big things. These are very small things, but they are very connected to you. Say, for example, while you're meditating, while you're walking during the walking meditation, and then you want to go and have a drink, then you have to see for yourself, is it suitable for me to go for a drink or not at this moment of time? If it's not, you should override the wish, the intention, and then you carry on with the meditation. If you need to, if you really need to, then you may go. But if you don't need to, most of the time we don't need to. Most of the time we don't need to. So it helps us to stay on the meditation. So not to be affected by our little desire, little craving, little wanting. Sometimes some yogis do a little bit of walking meditation. A bed, they straight away they walk to their bed. That also is not good. So this is suitability when it comes into meditation. Now, I wanted to talk about another type of suitability. When you go into when you want to go into a retreat. Now, some of you here perhaps are very new to a retreat. Perhaps you may think that let's maybe after all this pandemic over, I get my jab, I get my shots. When the retreat centers are open, I want to go and meditate. Well, sadhu to you, But you also have to see whether what is suitable to you, what type of place is suitable to you. If the place is suitable to you, other words that you have to see what are the conditions. Then when you go and try that, then your mental development can take place. That means your mind can able to settle down, be clear, be sharp, and it can go deeper. Then it means it's a suitable place to you. But then there are times it is not a suitable place. And then you have to know what are not the suitable place for us to go to. Let me stop sharing on this one. Then I share another screen. Okay. Okay, now I share screen again. Okay. All right. Can you see unsuitable retreat center, monastery? Okay, good. Now, there are places that sometimes you have to take note that when you want to go to a retreat center and or monastery or in a temple, depending. And also for some people, also you may have kutis. It may not be a retreat center, but a kuti. So there are also some of the things you have to consider, that whether that place is suitable for you to go or not, for you in order for the mind to develop. Now, these are some of the things I just write it down there as I read some of the things and also whatever that is going through in the present one. Now, take note of these few things. Now, unsuitable retreat center. That this center or this monastery or this temple, they are too large. Too large, that means they are large, not to say too large, they are large. All right. And then definitely when it's large means you have many people. Many people can be many bhikkhus or many samaneras or many devotees or many staff that is working in a temple. There are sometimes people come in, out for many other activities, because sometimes in the large monastery, they have many different sections. They have different section for, sometimes you have, sometimes I went to a certain monastery. You want to, where the place where you stay and the gate to go out, you have to take a car for 10 minutes in order just to reach the gate. Now, if you want to walk, take you 45 minutes just to reach the gate. Very big monastery, very huge monastery. And that monastery, they have all kinds of things. So many people, 1,000 over people. Then they have many activities. So in this type of activities, too many people, and then therefore also when it comes into big temple, then also you have many temple politics also. And over the years, who is siding which devotee is siding to which monk, and then the secrets here, secrets there. A lot of all these things, a lot of problem. So you have to take note. If it's too many people, it's not a suitable place for you to meditate. But sometimes this large temple or large place, large temple, they have they cordon off a certain area for meditation, and then they do not allow people to go in and so on. Only the meditators or only the teacher or those who are meditating, whether monks or nuns or lay people who are meditating, then only they can allow to go in there. Perhaps if you have this way of setup, this kind of setup perhaps is suitable because you are away from all the people, all the everything. So large monastery, so you have to be very careful. Too many people is not a good place. And then if it's a new monastery, also the same thing. There's a lot of ongoing construction. You got to build this, build that, build everything. Then the place is sometimes when you want to do the land is, they have to flatten the land. The trees, some of the trees go down, and then it's become very hot, very humid, and all these things. Even sometimes you want to walk from one place to another place. If it's raining, all the mud is there. So a lot of ongoing constructions, and sometimes if you are there, then also they kind of like expect you to do something. You cannot just sit there and meditate and do nothing. And in some monastery, like in Thailand especially, that bhikkhus, you have to give your time in order to build up a temple or to build up a building. And it's quite a hard work. And you must know a lot of construction work, how to do this and how to lay the bricks, how to do the tiles and how to do all those things. So it will take up a lot of time, actually. When I notice that when I travel, some monks are really like, wow, really like construction workers. They really know how to do all those things. So it takes up a lot of time. Not only that, after that, when you do all this construction work to build up the place, after that, the body becomes very tired. Very tired, therefore, of course, you cannot. It's difficult for you to meditate. So a lot of ongoing construction. Dilapidated or old buildings, and then here not a lot of repairs or a lot of renovation to be done. And then again here, you have to, if you are there, you have to kind of like contribute your time also in order to get things better. Have to fix this and that. A famous place. Sometimes a famous monastery, a big monastery, or you got a famous monk there. Then sometimes the king, politician, people, media, tour groups and all that, now they like to go there. And then therefore when when a lot of people go there, definitely you cannot meditate. Usually like in the places when I teach meditation, when sometimes big groups want to come in to visit the meditation center, if there are yogis, most of the time I don't allow. They walk around, they take photo of the yogis, they say how and all those things. So sometimes it's very, very terrible. A lot of talking and so on, because a lot of them they are maybe they are Buddhists, but they are not meditate. They are not meditators. So a lot of these things. Now, if that monastery also is a very beautiful monastery, it be famous because it's beautiful. You got some kind of construction there, some kind of very unique construction, and then people want to come there, want to go there to take photos, to take their selfies, and to take whatever with the place, and then to show them that they are there because it's unique. And that also becomes a famous place, and then it's not a good place to meditate. So you want to build up a meditation center, is nothing to attract the eyes. You should build up a place that is not attracting to the eyes. It is functional, very functional in the sense of, but from the outside, it's not attracting the eyes. That is how a retreat center should be built. If you want to have, sometimes if too many worldly people involved in the construction of a retreat center, then they put in all kinds of their ideas, the worldly, decorative ideas, make it nice, make it beautiful. Maybe perhaps that's not a very good idea. A retreat center should be built in the sense of it is plain to see. When people, you don't even want to glance at it, you see, look at it already. Okay, just a building. Okay, and that type of, it's good for meditation because that it does not attract the eyes of the public. So it looks very normal, very simple. Usually very simple, very normal. It is good for meditators, and it's not so appealing to the worldly people. That is good. That means they don't come. They don't come in and kacau you or disturb you and so on. So it has to be something like that. Then you have human activities. Now, human activities here means that perhaps in the temple, as I said just now, also when you have too many people, and then again here, it could be also like, you have different departments or different sections. Here you got Sunday school, there you got chanting group, another place you got missionary, another place you got like a soup kitchen providing for the poor, and then another area you have old folks for the old folks, and then another area you have an orphanage, and then you have after another one you have a big clinic or a hospital around, and then you have many activities. That also is not very good for meditation. Just too many too many things. Or the monastery is very near to a large market or wholesale market, very noisy. Nearby main road here, it can be because of it all depends. Some meditation centers, if you are built near the main road now, then again there are a lot of cars, a lot of things that's passing through. In the old days, when they say near the main road, it means that people will come into the monastery and they will get some water, they will rest there. In the old days, old days is like during 1,000 years ago and so on. But nowadays you have a lot of cars. If you have a lot of cars, like 24 hours, if you are next to a highway, then it's very difficult. Unless if they know how to soundproof the whole building, maybe it can be quite suitable, and then you make it into air conditioning and some good soundproofing from the outside. Of course, if you have to pay for it, it's expensive. Then therefore, it can be done. You can see the cars, but you cannot hear anything much. There are things also, something like that. But again, near the main road here, it can be hot. Yeah, and also the pollution, the air may not be so appealing to some yogis. For some yogis, it's okay. For me, this type of meditation center, I don't mind also, because I can meditate in this type of meditation place also. So it's not a problem for me. The problem is that when the noise it's a lot of sometimes the noise is like going up and down, sometimes like ambulance pass through, then after that police pass through, sometimes the motorcycle with a big exhaust pipe, with a very loud exhaust pipe, they modified it into a very loud exhaust pipe. After that, the sound clear, and then after another type of sound come in, the sound keep going up and down. That one is very disturbing to a meditator. If you have a constant soft noise at the background, and the noise is constant in that sense, then it doesn't affect the meditator that much. But if the noise is just going up and down in the frequency range, then it can be in the loudness. It can be disturbing to the yogis. So sometimes mining or quarry beside the meditation center, oh goodness, sometimes they use explosive or boom. And it's even more worse. Yesterday or day before that, I saw in the Facebook, in Burma, especially in the northern part of Burma, above Mandalay, there's a lot of mining for jade, for mining for gold, and so on. And then if you have a monastery, then this particular picture is that monastery is on the hill, but it's just surrounded by just maybe a 1 acre of forest, and then the rest of it is all mining, all completely without trees, only sand, and only totally devastated the whole place. It's only like little place for that monastery to survive. So another thing is that, here I put there frontier of country of kingdom. Here means that people, when they're during the Buddha's time, when you are going too far away from the center of Buddhism, then you meet with a lot of people who have lack of faith, lack of Buddhist faith. And then also nowadays also the same thing. Sometimes you will go to a certain suburbs or certain places, people have lack of faith, and when they have lack of faith, they have sometimes they may be violent to you, they may be very rough to you, or sometimes they may steal the things in the monastery. And then every now and then you have all this theft going on, and then it will disturb the yogis also. So this one also you have to consider. Yeah? Opposite gender, whether you are a nun or a monk or even a lay person, sometimes this opposite gender, they can be very persistent. Give you an example. Like in Thailand, some places in Thailand, if you are in a monastery and then you're a monk there, and then the opposite gender, I mean the girls, and then the girls or the ladies, and they will come to the monastery, they will dress up nicely, beautifully, in order to attract the monks. Because they know that sometimes the monks are not permanent monks. They are kind of like temporary monks. And then with the idea, sometimes the ladies will have the idea that if the man become the monk already, then make a good husband. So they go and attract them. So these things and these things are quite a lot of happening. Not only here, but also in every other place also. The opposite gender, and they can be frequent by the opposite gender. That is very difficult sometimes for the monks or for the nuns to meditate. So if you want to really go and meditate, go far away from people. If they have a difficulty coming to your place to dana or anything. Then the next one is haunted. Haunted. Now, most of the time, the place usually is not haunted. It's sometimes the mind of the people, the mind of the yogis is the one to create it into make it a big story, and then they tell it to other yogis. Sometimes they are actually a bit of cramming here and there at night when they sleep. And then the next day they say that, oh, the spirit pull my leg. And then sometimes they got some compress in the chest or in the chest area when they are sleeping, and then they say that, oh, the spirit is trying to press on me. Sometimes it's just a pulling in the chest area and so on. Nothing to do with the spirits also. Sometimes we overdo the whole thing. Most of the time, most of the cases that I know of. But there are cases where genuinely the place is really haunted. You put your things there, you can, and then sometimes not only one people will see, a few people will be able to see, and then they come in, you meditate, they try to pull your hair, they try to push you here and there. They don't like you to be there. There are places, there are haunted places. So generally there are places who are haunted. But then, of course, with the haunted places, the Buddha usually recommends to share merits with them, or metta with them, or you do some chanting, Attaniyata Sutta, those type of sutta. So something like that, it may be helpful to overcome the place which is haunted. Let me not go into it. If this topic, we go into it, it's too much to talk. Every of the yogi got their own story to tell on. All the years I've heard this and that already. I give up already. I give up of trying to hear. If it's true. Not true also, so be it. And because I'm not interested in all these things. Now, the next thing that you have to consider also, like this one is arms round, may not be for you all, but it can be for the monks or nuns. Then for the monks is that it's not supposed to be too far, too close to where you are supposed to take the food. It can be a market, it can be a town, it can be a village. If it's too far, that means you have to walk for a long distance. You come back, then you become very tired. Too close also, again, it becomes very noisy, the place. Then your meditating also get disturbed. This is more or less for the monks or nuns. Now, the speech here is number 3. Also, the monastery also must have the right kind of speech. Then the people also must have a right kind of speech, in a sense that if you give a Dhamma talk in a meditation center, then the Dhamma talk has to be very much related to the meditation. Uh, if you talk about all kinds of other things, it may not be very useful. Now, sometimes also there are speech which also right in the sense of they're talking about dana, sila, or bhavana. Then it depends on the occasion. But if it's a meditation center, it's usually talking about meditation stuff. But sometimes certain monastery, they have more than just meditation. Of course, they talk about dana, sila, and they talk about the right things, which is good, which is suitable for the practice. If not, sometimes I've seen also there are people who are not meditator, who are not all kind, then they come into the monastery, they come into the temple, they sit there, they sembang, they gossip, and they gossip about all kinds of things, all kind of worldly things. Then people get attracted to it. Usually people get attracted to it. Talk about the financial, talk about the share market, talk about cars, talk about politics, talk about all kinds of things. If it's just a little bit here and there, it's okay. But those things sometimes become a main thing. And then sometimes even some people also in the temple also, because they are so good into it, then they even under the temple's name, okay, then they set up a talk for business, how you supposed to invest your money into unit trust or this or temple or not temple, unit trust, banks or this share or that share they put under the temple. This like a talk, Also, I've seen it before. I say those things are not suitable. You want to talk, you go and talk in other, not under the temple. You want to talk about, you can in a temple, the monastery, you talk about things which is wholesome or avoid unwholesomeness, not all kinds of other things. So the speech also is important. Then the fourth one here, I think the fourth one here is the most important one in a sense. You must have the right teachers or the kalyanamitta or the competent teachers. Here, the one that they can really to guide you, the type of meditation that you want to do. If you don't have the right teacher, then it's impossible for you to meditate. Now, sometimes there are yogis, they come to a certain monastery or certain meditation center, and then they insist that they want to do their own meditation. And they insist they want to do their own meditation. And sometimes there are certain monastery, you can do that. Sometimes you cannot do that. And certain monastery, you come in, you have to follow exactly what the teacher said. And other yogis, you cannot do other form of meditation because of certain management and so on. Some teachers, they are more open in the sense that since they don't come in to meditate with the teachers or to guide from the teachers, they just stay in their own place. Okay, that particular kuti, that yogi meditate this way, that another kuti meditate another way, but they stay in the same monastery. So that one is fine because they are not really organized in that sense. But if you are an organized retreat, you have to follow the teacher. And then also in the monastery also, you must have the right-minded people. Sometimes you go to a certain monastery when you don't have the right-minded people, then it's impossible for you to meditate. That means the devotees there or the staff there or the close devotees that is helping out the monastery or the temple. Sometimes, for example, if you are doing retreat and then you do your retreat continuously from morning, afternoon, night. Sometimes some people don't like you to do meditate all the time. It says that after all, you come to the temple, you should do some service. If not, you'll get all the free food. Meditate, sit there, only sit, only what do you get? Do some dana. You must go and sweep the floor a bit. You must clean the building a bit. You must go and wash the toilet, clean the toilet. Then when the other people see you doing this way, then only they are happy. They see you meditate all the time, they are not happy. And then these are not the right-minded people. There are monastery like that. If you go to that type of monastery, you don't feel at ease to meditate to your heart's content. So you got to choose the right monastery or the right people when you want to go to certain meditation centers. So certain meditation centers, if I want to go and meditate, sometimes I avoid those centers. I don't go. But what for? Nothing there. Nothing to meditate. You cannot do anything. You meditate also, people not happy. So you have to find the right teachers. The right teachers. When you have the right teachers, usually the right people will follow the teachers. Then you have all kinds of teacher. Then all kinds of people will follow those teachers also. So if you want to have vipassana teachers, then you can look for them. Then therefore the followers usually also vipassana meditator. If you are a samatha meditator, then again you have many followers who are samatha meditator. Now here, the next also you have to consider the food also. Now when you are young, you don't have to consider this one. Anything you can eat. Nowadays, when you're getting older, that is a bit different already. Some food for you is that nutritious or not. Usually temple will provide you nutritious food, but whether you can eat or not, that's another thing. Like in Burma, if you want to go into Burma, you have to have a taste bud like a Burmese. You got to be salty, oily, and spicy. If you can tahan those things, you can take it. Then you can stay in Burma. Oily in the sense that sometimes, for example, if you want to, they cook some pork for you. Then the pork, the meat is that little. Then the fat is 3 or 4 or 5 layers on top of it. The meat is very little and the fat is a lot. So some people like for example, if those foreigners come to Asian place to meditate, although the Asian in the sense that they are nutritious, but it's difficult for them to swallow. Then if you Asian, sometimes you go to Western countries, sometimes also difficult for us to eat also. Like when I went in Europe, Slovakia, sometimes some food sometimes really cannot eat. Reverend Sujiva also had a hard time there. Things are like difficult to say. Difficult to say. Although they are nutritious, not to say not nutritious, but it's difficult to swallow. Anyway, so you have to see the food, the type of food. But as you grow older, we are more choosy on our food because this body comes with disease. So you have to be. Sometimes some places they may provide the type of food that you need, which is wonderful, which is good. Some places they may not able to provide the type of food that you want. So you got to check with the organizers and so on. So you got to see what type of food is there. If the best is that you have to be adaptable. You have to be adaptable. Everything comes. You can makan. You can eat. Then yes, you can meditate almost everywhere. Almost everywhere. Climate also the same thing. Climate also, some people cannot take it hot, cannot take it, or cannot take it too cold. Like in Burma, when it comes to like this time, April, terrible time. It's hot. When you say it's Penang is hot. Penang is not so hot compared to when you're in Thailand or when you're in Burma. It's really hot. It's like 40 degrees hot. You try to meditate at that climate, it's terrible. And then sometimes there are places that are really cold in fact. And they have a lot of breeze and a cold breeze. And then some people can't take it also. So you have to take note of the climate also. And it's good that if you are adaptable too. And if you are adaptable with food and climate, you can go a lot of places. Uh, Then postures. Postures here when you are actually in the meditation. So you have to choose which are the postures are good for you. And usually in the meditation, although there are four postures, walking, sitting, standing, and lying down. Usually we take the three postures. You don't take the fourth one. You don't take the lying down one. Lying down usually doesn't help you that much unless you are a much more advanced meditator. Other than that, you don't take it. Usually we take these three. You know what I mean. All right. This is something that you have to consider before you go into a retreat. But anyway, nothing is going to be perfect. The retreat place is not going to be perfect. You have to go there and more or less you know that place is practicing in this way. You have the teachers and then go there and try. Go there and try. Usually with the right teachers, they can help you to overcome a lot of things. Even with the ghosts also or the spirits also, haunted place also. So this is something on the suitability when you want to go for a retreat. Hopefully you all remember this one. Because right now you cannot go for any retreat until I do not know when. So right now, in the meantime, you got to wait for it. At least next time you can think about it. So this is help you. This help you to to help you in your worldly wisdom. It help you in your worldly wisdom. And it's good because when you have your suitable conditions, usually it's easier for the mind to go into much more deeper concentration, faster and longer. Now there's a next sampajanya. The next sampajanya I want to discuss also. Wait, where is mine? The next one, view. Okay, wait. Okay. Now I go back again with the. Okay, let me share the screen again. Okay, sampajanya. Hey, wait. Okay, all right. Share the screen. Hey. Oh, I have to exit this first. It just cannot. Sometimes this one. Okay, I think now I should be able to share screen. All right, you can see sampajanya again right now. Okay, right now. Okay, now we go to the third one. We go to the third one. Third one here means domain. Domain here means domain of your meditation object. What object is suitable to you and what object is not suitable to you. Just now when we talk about the number two, talk about the number two is like what is suitable posture, what is suitable place for you to meditate, what is suitable things for you to do, what is not the suitable things for you to do. That is part of suitability. But when it comes to the third one, we also must know what is the suitable object, what is the result, what is the domain of your meditation object. So here, in the practice of vipassana, the domain of the meditation object falls under the four foundation of mindfulness. It falls under the four foundation of mindfulness. But the word gochara here has when it comes into the Dhamma, it comes in suttas and so on, it has a bigger meaning. It has a bigger meaning. Yeah? We will see a little bit on that. Now here, view. Here we have domain or resort or gochara sampajanya. Resort here as support. Support here means in the sense that in the external things, this is the kalyanamita. That means it's part of suitability. You have to find that this kalyanamita or this teacher in order to help you, in order to show you the right path and not going into the wrong path. That means you develop in the generosity, dana, sila, bhavana, and not going into all the unwholesome wrongdoings, and then able to get you further into the mental development. This is kalyanamita. That means here, if you are a monk or a nun, your kalyanamita can be your preceptor. Can be your preceptor. That means you stay with your preceptor for some time, usually for 5 years, in order to learn the mental development, learn to be a monk, how to be a nun, in Vinaya rules and so on. So this as a support, as a benefactor. Then the next resort is the resort in guarding your senses. Guarding your senses here means that you don't let the senses becomes astray and going into seeing things which is beautiful, which is all kinds of, and those things as enticing to you, like music, like shows, like theaters, and so on. So this one, resort here, that means you must stay in your own place. The domain you stay, how your senses should connect to, and what are the things that you should not connect to. So too, like kalyanamita, also the same thing. Then you have to connect with the kalyanamita, with the teachers and with the right people, not with the papamita, not with the unwholesome people, unwholesome people, and then you have all kinds of unwholesome activities, unwholesome actions, speech, and so on. So resort here, that means your domain where you're supposed to be. So senses also the same thing, especially when it comes into as you are as a meditator, then senses also is important. Then when we are meditating, we don't look here and don't look there, don't look at the sky, don't look at the birds and so on. When look what is in front of you, watch the this one, and then keep noting. This is on the senses. The third one, resort as anchoring. Now this is on your meditation objects. Resort as anchoring. Here, when it comes into usually the sampajanya, we talk about the four foundation of mindfulness. The objects of four foundation of mindfulness, that means the bodily objects, the feelings, the mind, and the Dhamma. The Dhamma here usually they translate as mental objects. Usually that is not a very good translation because it's cover a very wide variety of objects. So if when you go into Vipassana, you must able to know what are the right objects, because in the right objects, it will show you the anicca, dukkha, anatta is intrinsic characteristic. We're going to talk about intrinsic characteristic also in maybe another day. We're going to talk about that because that is also important. How you're supposed to take note of a certain object. So all the four foundation objects of Satipatthana, the four Satipatthana objects, all of them have intrinsic value, intrinsic characteristic, and therefore they will show you the anicca, dukkha, anatta. Okay, that one we talk a lot on that. Other times when we talk about Satipatthana, we can talk about it another 3 months, 4 months for the Satipatthana. But the thing is that here you also must know what are not the right object, what are the wrong object that you should not take up. Also, not only the right objects, because if you do not know the wrong objects, then your mind will easily fall into it. Correct? So you have to know what are the objects you are supposed to take up and what are the objects you are not supposed to take up. With what you're supposed to take up, we're going to talk about it when it comes to the fourth sampajanya, where asamoha sampajanya. But here, not the right object for you to take up during the vipassana, when you are doing vipassana, also is important. As important as to know what are the right object. The wrong object also you have to know in order for you to avoid them. But it's easier said than done. Because the wrong object is very enticing. The wrong object it will pull you out. And sometimes we don't even realize that we are in the wrong object. We are out of the domain, You're out of the domain. So when the Buddha says when you're out of the domain, it is where all the hindrances will come and attack you. Yeah. So to like resort and support, also the same thing. You go and mix with the wrong people, you're out of the domain of a Kalyana Mitta, then all the wrong things will start coming in. Yeah. The sense is also the same thing. If you're not within the right domain, then you're out of the domain. Also, all kinds of unwholesomeness will start coming in. So to the fourth foundation of mindfulness, also the same thing. When you are not in the right, when you're not in the right object, when you're out of the object, also all kinds of things will bombard you and all kinds of hindrances will start coming in. Then your practice will not go very far. So what are the wrong objects? What are the wrong objects? We're going to go to the next one. There are two types of objects: conventional object and ultimate object. Ultimate reality or conventional reality. Samuti and Paramatta. Conventional here, you have two. You have conceptual thoughts, you have expression. Expression can be your speech and also your bodily action also. Conceptual thoughts is what the things that you think. Afterwards, we're going to go through this one a little bit more. We're going to go through a little bit more. Ultimate reality here. Ultimate reality, you have Nama, Rupa, and Nibbana. When you have Nama, you have the four mental aggregates, which is the feelings. What else? Perception, mental formation, and the consciousness. And then here, the Rupa is materiality. And then Nibbana. Nibbana also is it's a reality. So your meditation object should fall under here. 1, 2, mentality, which is under the four mental aggregates, or Rupa or Nibbana. If you don't have number 3 yet, no worry. Number 1 and number 2 also okay. Number 3 maybe later. But in the Abhidhamma, they expand it a little bit more. In the Abhidhamma, they put it consciousness as chitta and mental factors as cetasika. Cetasika means mental formation, include as a mental formation. These are the 3 aggregates. The 3 aggregates is the feelings, the perception, and the mental formation. Fall under cetasika. So yeah, they're all the same thing. It's just that how you want to differentiate it, and Nibbana, of course. So we're going to talk about ultimate reality in the sense of the Nama, Rupa. We're going to talk about that in another talk. But tonight we're going to look into it a little bit more. So you're going to give me another 10 minutes or maybe 10 minutes. Yeah. We're going to look at it a bit more. Concept. Conventional. There's so many conventional here. Now in the concepts, there are words or expression, form and shape. You have distance, you have direction, you have time, collective, space, sign, being, self. So this concept is what you create from your own mind. which is another kind of a panyati. Words, that means how you speak out or expression. When we say that, okay, this is a car. When you use this is a car. And then the car here, they don't have intrinsic characteristic because the word is created by the mind. In the ultimate reality, all of them, they cannot be broken down further. They cannot be broken down further. And they have this intrinsic value of an intrinsic characteristic of anicca, dukkha, anatta. Whereas in the concept, you do not have those things. That's why it cannot take up as a vipassana object. So words is like things that you speak out, things that you say. Expression also can be your gestures. For example, if people do a hand sign for you and so on, then you can able to understand the hand sign. Then this is also another form of expression. So whatever that we say here, while we are talking here, these are all concepts. These are all concepts. Form and shape also the same thing. What we see in our eyes, are only in the sense of color. When you have color, you have the form, you have the shape. If completely the place is completely black, you cannot see anything, you cannot see the shape, you cannot see anything. So the form and the shape is just coming into our eyes, and then our mind conceptualize the person. That person is so and so, who and who. That is a cupboard, that is a car, that is that, and so on. So because of that certain particular form, this is created by the mind. Distance also the same thing. Distance also it can be affected by the color. Sometimes you see drawings, although drawings in 2D, but when you color it in the lighter color, it feels like it's much more at the background. When you do it darker, it feels like in the foreground. Like the rolling hills, sometimes you see in the pictures. So again, here are concept. Directional, that means north, south, east, west. Again, these are all concept. Time also the same thing. Concept. What time is this? What time is that? You can say now it's 10 p.m. right now, but in US maybe it's 8 a.m., 9 a.m., 10 a.m. It's different. Collective here means like, for example, a collective of people. The mountains, and you see many mountains, the people is a collective in a sense. Space also the same thing. Space also is because of you see things, then there's a space there. Again, these are all created by the mind. Science here is a nimitta. Here it's connected with your meditation object. Connected to your meditation object, that means you create it out in the mind while you are doing a samatha meditation. That means you create a concept of an in-breath, out-breath in the mind, not at the nostril anymore, but in the mind. You radiate to all beings, and then you imagine all beings. Again, these are all nimitta, signs. Being or self. Here that this atta, again here this self or I, again this is created by the mind. The I is created by the self, the soul is all created by the mind. So all these are concept. When these are concept, you should not take up during in your meditation. But this one is so easy for you to fall into it. Just like, for example, when we are during in the meditation, while we are meditating, then you start to imagine your loved ones. Oh, what is my son is doing at home? Then already the concept is already coming in. The signs are already coming in. You see the form, you see the shape, you see the face. And then you are meditating. Then after that, music comes in. Oh, music comes in into your mind, and then you listen to it. Oh, so nice. You keep on repeating into it. Then you get connected to it. You know, you get drowned into the music, and sometimes this music keep on playing and playing and playing and playing and playing. You cannot stop. Concept. So easy for us to fall into it because in our everyday life we use concept. We don't use ultimate reality. We don't live in ultimate reality. Ultimate reality is when your mindfulness is strong, when your concentration and wisdom is strong, then only you can see this ultimate reality. You see what is behind those concepts. Then when we see the ultimate reality, then only the mind is awakened. If not, is covered up by all this concept. So we are living in the world of concept. We are not living in the world of ultimate reality. So our job is to help you, to show you how to open up that window so that you can able to see the ultimate reality. But once you are not meditating anymore, that window also begin to close. Close, and then you are back again to concept. But at least we know, is even the Buddha doesn't stay in ultimate reality. The Buddha stays in the conceptual world. So this concept also is important. So it's easier for us to fall into it. So easy. Now, next talk, we'll talk about this a little bit more, just to drill into your mind and make sure that it stays there, because a lot of yogis, when it comes into the right objects, they don't want to stay because boring, nothing much to see, rising, falling only, pain here, pain there. But then when you have music coming in, it's so enticing, so easy for us to see. So we're going to talk about this a little bit more. Then after that, we're going into another topic. We're going into Asamoha also. And that one, we're going to talk about it a bit more detailed. So, okay. I think enough for tonight. Okay. So, we'll continue on Wednesday.